Hello and welcome back to another video of Formula One Challenge. Today we are going to start the 1974 season as promised. And just like last year, I'm going to race for ISO Marlboro, aka Williams. Though at this point it wasn't running under their own name. It was called ISO Marlboro. So without further ado, let's head over to the qualifying session and see where we end up on the grid and discuss everything else there. So here we are at the start of the flying lap. It's going to be round one, the Argentine Grand Prix. And compared to last year, we're using a completely different layout for this race. And well, I really don't like this. I could never get comfortable with this layout. I feel horribly slow, and despite using a slightly improved version of last year's car, it drives like a donkey. And it's really difficult to keep it on the track, though I'm not sure if it's just me being rusty after such a long time of absence or the car overall, but it gets horribly unstable in lower gears, so I'm going to try and avoid using first and second gear because that's just going to end up in a spin. And for now it feels like a fairly slow lap. It's already a minute and we're not even halfway through. However, I'm the first one out, so I still can get a lap time in on a clean track. So, well, actually I wasn't the first out. Stuck just did an initial lap of 1:53. So let's see if I can beat his time. I don't think so. This is the tricky section of the track. A couple of bumps that send your car airborne. And that's a provisional second place. So let's head over, do the grid walk, and see what the actual results have been. So we have Regazzoni starting from pole position. Alongside him is going to be Emerson Fittipaldi, Jackie X on P3, Jody Scheckter on P4, then Regazzoni's teammate Niki Lauda on P5, Denny Halm on P6, Reutemann on P7, and we have Ronnie Peterson on P8, Stuck on P9, James Hunt in the Hesketh on P10, and then right behind him it's myself on P11. By the way, the times are gone because there's a day difference between the recording of the qualifying and the race. Jarier on P12, Depailler on P13, Beltoise on P14, so that's a nice French team in those three positions. Chupin on P15, Pescarolo on P16, Halewood on P17, Andretti quite far behind P18, Mas on P19, Hill on P20, Carlos Pace on P21. Then we have another Scheckter on P22, Schenken P23, Price 24, Amon 25, Watson 26th, and my teammate Mazzario is starting from last place. So not a good qualifying for him, slightly better one for me. And let's see the start of this race. And now the 1974 season is on the way, and it looks like a couple of cars get a slow start, which brings me up to P7, make a little contact with Scheckter into the first corner. Everyone is drifting a little, so at least I'm not the only one who's having some issues with the stability of the car. And now we overtake Scheckter and Holm. I still remember some of the nice fights we had with him earlier season. Then we overtake X, so we're up to P3. And we're not even halfway into the first lap. And there's Fittipaldi right in front. And you can still see Regazzoni's car way up the road. And there's been a couple of accidents already, so a few cars are already out of the race. And it looks like we can catch Fittipaldi in a straight line. Except not with these mistakes. So X is trying to take the position back from me by cutting the track. But that doesn't work out for him, so it's still P3. However, now Fittipaldi is more than a second ahead, which in 1974 terms is not a lot, but a car with that speed gonna be difficult to catch, especially in this section where I'm not confident at all. So yeah, it looks like Fittipaldi is gone now. So let's just focus on trying to keep the last podium position. So at least we can score some nice points. So last year I actually managed to win here in Argentina, but that was a layout that I prefer more than this one. And then on lap 4 we have X right behind me. As you can see him in the mirror. And I think that's another Lotus, his teammate. Someone just went off the track, you could see that in the mirror. So it's certainly getting interesting here. And now I get overtaken by X. That's been a really nice move. Now I need to go and catch up to him. And we have Danny Holm right behind me. Also very close. And I think I can get a better exit here than X did. However, I'm only just a little bit faster than him as we go into the first corner. And we're still way too far for any overtake. But here I'm hoping that I will be able to use the superior straight line speed that I was having. And it looks like I'm faster than him. So here I'm just going to try and shoot on the inside, and I basically scare him into giving up the position. So I'm back to the last podium place by re-overtaking Jackie X. And now we're trying to keep him behind. And that's the start of lap 11. I managed to break away from Jackie a little bit, and Fittipaldi is already miles ahead, more than 18 seconds up the road. So there's no hope left to catch him unless he makes a mistake or crashes out. As you can see, I can pull away in the straight. However, he will be able to get much closer on the next section of this track. So basically the race so far has been I pulled away more than a second on these straights, and then he was right behind me for the remainder of the track after these sections. So they are definitely much better on the cornering than I am. And I'm much faster in the straights than they are. It's getting closer and closer again. Only 2 tenths down, so basically sitting right on my gearbox. Getting a little bit better exit than him. Then the car is just sliding. Sometimes it feels more like driving a rally car. Need a lot of counter steer to keep the back stable. Here in this section I can start pulling away. Then on lap 16, the biggest excitement we had is gonna be overtaking one of the back markers. While I still have, well, this time it's actually Lauda already who overtook X. And I overtake the back marker, hoping that Lauda is going to get stuck behind him. But that's not gonna happen, as you saw in the back view. Lauda overtook him as well. Then on lap 18 we have another back marker, and it's just the same story as before. We hope Lauda is going to get stuck behind him, so I can just open a bit of a larger gap between the two of us. And by the looks of it, is actually going to catch up to this back marker around that corner up ahead. So yeah, no, I think he got through before this corner. Yeah, he's catching me quickly. Then we have lap 19 where it's Ronnie Peterson, so there's been a massive fighting going on behind my back between Jackie X, Ronnie Peterson and Niki Lauda. And I make a big mistake. I spin the car around, and thankfully they can't really overtake me because I'm actually building a massive obstacle for them. So it slowed them down enough, so I only lost that one position to Peterson, and I can take it back on the straight right away. And now it's Jackie X back to P4. So the two Lotus drivers are having a good time with each other as well. Every now and then I'm getting involved, and then Niki Lauda gets involved. So I would say there's more excitement on P3, 4, 5 and 6 than on 1 and 2, because Regazzoni by this time is a couple seconds ahead of Fittipaldi, who is almost a minute ahead of me. And we overtook another back marker, and we're on the way to catch the next one that's just right up ahead. And this is pretty much the only section where I'm actually using second gear, and I try to be really careful with it, well, most of the time. As you can see, I'm taking that corner in third gear, and I should really take it in second one, but I just don't feel comfortable with the car's back in second gear. It just steps out way too easily, as you can see here. And now we're overtaking the back marker. And again, we hope that Peterson and the others are going to get stuck behind him. But we're just entering the first corner and the long straights, and as you can see, they got somewhat stuck as I overtake another back marker on lap 38. And now we have Lauda on P4. So basically all the excitement happened on the last couple of point scoring positions. And Lauda is catching up to me quite quickly. And at this point it started to feel like that I basically lost my superior straight line speed to him. Probably because our cars were getting lighter. Maybe his car was even lighter than mine, but As you can see, he's coming closer and closer. And I'm struggling to keep the car on the track. And now he's only 2 tenths down. And the difference doesn't really change either, so... And here he overtakes me on 2 wheels, so I think that he just pulled the overtake of the year on the very first race of this season. That's been just an absolute ballsy move. Amazing, a really nice one. I thought he's going to flip over, but it's not a lost cause yet, because he's still less than a second away, so I might be able to catch him on the straight. Not like this. And by now we have Peterson on P5, more than 4 seconds behind. There's another mistake as the back of the car steps out. We still have Nicky within a second. However, at this point our speed is about the same. I can get closer here. And now he's able to pull away on the long straight. But at least we have a nice gap to Peterson, so I don't have to keep staring into the mirror to see what's going on behind my back, so we can focus on Nicky. But by now he's almost a second ahead, so I need to do some real hard work to catch him. And can't really close the gap in this section. And basically my only advantage that I had over him, the straight line speed, is gone as well. And as you can see, lap 44, he's already 10 seconds away. After I made a mistake here, you can see the tire marks, and I'm making just another mistake. And I lose the position to Peterson, so down to P5, just in front of Jackie X. So I need to catch Peterson quickly, as we have less than 10 laps remaining. And another big mistake, as the back of the car steps out once again, and I lose another position. So that's down to the last point scoring position of P6, behind both Lotus cars. Not really the way I imagined this race. And on lap 50 I managed to be consistently faster than Jackie X, and I just got to within 3 tenths to him. So I might be able to take that 5th place. However, his teammate is already miles up ahead, so no chance in the remaining 4 laps to take the 4th place back. And now I managed to overtake Jackie. Not really, he's still ahead, but we're having a huge drag race down the straight, and now the move seems to be done. However, he's still pretty close as we enter the corner, and he goes on the outside, overtakes me again, then goes a little bit off the track, which helps me catch back up to him. So here in this hairpin, trying to go deep on the inside, however take the exit wrong, and he re-overtakes me once again. So it's still P5 and 6. And now he's starting to pull away into the distance. He's almost a second up just on these 3 corners. So now I hope he's going to get stuck behind that back marker over there. But I'm not gonna be able to catch him if I keep making mistakes like this. Oh boy, this car is just terrible. Now, let's hope he will only catch this guy around the corners so I can actually catch up to him and try for another overtake. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. He's much faster. I have to go a little bit deep on the inside to avoid contact. But this doesn't help me at all. So it looks like this is gonna be the position where I'm going to finish this race. He's almost 1.5 seconds ahead at this point. Here where we have these corner combinations, he's also faster than me. So yeah, I don't think I'll be able to catch him in the remaining 2 laps unless he makes a mistake, or I can avoid making any mistakes, which, well, doesn't really look like it so far. But yeah, exactly, that's what I was talking about. So I just kept spinning round and round this race. Not really the season opener that I imagined for myself, especially after last year's win. But it is what it is. I don't like the track. I don't like the car. Hopefully the latter is going to be improved, and that's the last point scoring position of P6 on this race. And Regazzoni has won the race. Fittipaldi came second, 35 seconds behind. So yeah, Regazzoni was absolutely untouchable this race. I want last year's car back. It's been much better. And here you can see Regazzoni's Ferrari, who has absolutely won the race. And it's gonna be Niki Lauda on 3rd, so that's a double podium for Ferrari. And here you have it, the final results. Regazzoni, Fittipaldi, Lauda, Peterson, Jackie X, and myself, the first 6 that are the point scoring positions. Watson, Depailler, Halewood, Brambilla, Pace, Mas, Schenken, Kinnunen, all the way down to P14. And some of them are actually 3 laps down. So let's just take a look at the bottom of the table. Quite a lot of DNFs here. So actually almost half of the 32 cars, or yeah, about half of the 32 cars are out of this race. And here are the standings after the Argentine Grand Prix. Regazzoni on 9 points, Fittipaldi on 6 points, Lauda on 4, Peterson on 3, Jackie X on 2, and myself on 1 point. And now we take a look at the constructor standings. Ferrari first, followed by McLaren, Lotus, and Williams. I wasn't sure what to say. Marlboro, Williams. Well, let's just call it Williams. This should be the simplest. So anyway, this was the Argentine Grand Prix of 1974. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next race in Brazil. Goodbye.